If you're watching this early August, right now in the Sea of Japan, Chinese and Russian warships are conducting live fire drills as part of joint military exercises. Now you're wondering, where the heck is the Sea of Japan? Answer, near Japan. I'm kidding, I'm kidding. Here's the map. Or here's the map. Sorry, here's the map. The exercise launched yesterday with 6 warships, 3 Chinese destroyers, the Shaixing, Urumqi, and the Qiandaohe, and 3 Russian vessels, the Gromky, Volkov, and Admiral Tributs. But here's what mainstream media won't tell you. I absolutely nailed those pronunciations. Alhamdulillah, Allah Mubarak. I'm joking. Sorry. I'm learning Russian and Chinese, so it's good practice. Here's what mainstream media won't tell you. This rather small scale exercise is a perfect example of these two global South heavyweights, both named letters in BRICS, the economic alliance, because the R and the C in BRICS is Russia and China. Both of them are working on boosting interoperability, meaning coordinating their militaries to ensure they can efficiently work with each other. This is the low animation budget, representation of interoperability, coordination. I don't know why they're dancing. Is the military? It's not a disco. But hey, anyway, you see, different nations use militaries with different systems, different processes, and of course, different languages. That's probably the worst one. Practicing together with your allies boosts joint synergy and effectiveness should joint efforts ever need to be taken in the future. If things get hairy, if America suddenly decides to defend itself 11,000 kilometers to the west of the American homeland. Now, while Western nations, comparatively, I'm giving you a situation update. While Western nations focus on giving Ukraine more toys but not manpower for their dead end conflict with no hope in Eastern Europe, China and Russia are quietly refining their naval tactics. Why? Because the Pacific theater is likely to be the most fundamental, most critical zone in the coming half century. Right, the Pacific is where the two great powers of our age, as we move from unipolarity into multipolarity, the two great powers are China and the US. The Pacific is in the middle of that, is in between them. So it's likely to get, this is where conflict's likely to pop off, basically. Now, these exercises, it marks the 13th year of similar joint sea exercises between China and Russia, but 2025's location sends a clear message about shifting power dynamics in the Pacific. The Sea of Japan, you see, is where the sea, the Sea of Japan, you see, right, is where America does some of its naval exercises as well, right? So you can imagine China and Russia are there, and you just imagine like one of the Chinese destroyers sailing past an American destroyer. It's a bit peak, it's a bit high tension, right? So for Russia and China to be practicing here, it's far more reasonable because Russia and China are right next door to the Sea of Japan. It's less reasonable for America to be practicing here, 11,000 kilometers away from their homeland. But remember, geopolitics. It's not about what's reasonable. It's not about what's fair. It's about change. If you're paid, for example, double your salary by accident for like 6 months, you might not complain. You almost definitely won't complain, especially if it's not an accident. If you're just paid because your manager's generous. But then, if there's a sudden drop, there's a readjustment to the norm, and you suddenly get paid what's reasonable. It won't matter to you that your new salary is the reasonable one and you were being overpaid before. What will matter is less money in my pockets. So you might kick up a fuss, right? Is the change that matters, not what's fair. Same thing with America. Same thing in terms of geopolitics. The US losing influence along its entire first island chain, which is, the Japan, Taiwan, Philippines, Japan, South Korea, Taiwan's Philippines, this ring, this pearl or necklace that is sort of set up against China. Any activity there from China will upset the US, even though it's China's backyard, it's China's locality. These are China's neighbors, these countries, not America's neighbors. In terms of the near, what do you call it? Near abroad. Yeah, near abroad are countries that are like obviously not within your country, but right next door, very close. But what will China do to calm those fears the US has about growing Chinese influence in China's own backyard, essentially? The Chinese statement would probably read something like this: Sounds like a you problem. Sorry, I need to have fun sometimes. Come on. Anyway, that's it for today. Reminder not to fall for flipping crypto scams. Okay, I'm not on Telegram. I'm not trying to sell you anything crypto. So if some account with my face and an I where there should be an L sends you a message, block that guy, right? They're gonna start talking about blockchains. You'll be like, blockchain this, block their account, bruv. And don't let the agents of the Western spin block my reporting from reaching you. Comment letting me know where you're watching from. That will help me get my videos to reach more people. And make sure you stay connected to me. I've got all kinds of links in my TikTok bio, X, Instagram. You can send me a voice note. You can send me an email. You can subscribe to my YouTube. So don't lose access to me. For the unbiased news and analysis without the Western spin. Sorry I didn't comb my hair this morning. I'm Mahfouz, and I'll see you on the next one.